Muhammad Ali vs. Joe Frazier. The Ali-Frazier trilogy remains one of the most storied rivalries not just in boxing but in all sports. Their feud was born from polar opposites in style, personality, and public perception. Ali was the fast-talking, charismatic showman who defied the draft during the Vietnam War, embraced his Muslim faith, and embodied the counterculture. Frazier was the son of a South Carolina sharecropper, a quiet and determined workhorse whose grinding, left-hook-heavy style was forged in the Philadelphia gyms. The first bout in 1971, dubbed the Fight of the Century, was a monumental event. Madison Square Garden packed to the rafters, celebrities ringside, and political overtones hanging over the crowd. Frazier handed Ali his first loss via unanimous decision, punctuating it with a left hook in the 15th round that nearly took Ali's head off. Ali got his revenge in their 1974 rematch, but it was the Thrilla in Manila in 1975 that defined them both, fought in unbearable heat, with both men dishing out and receiving savage punishment until Frazier's trainer Eddie Futch refused to let him answer the bell for the 15th round. Ali said afterward, "It was the closest thing to dying." Sugar Ray Leonard vs. Roberto Duran. In the summer of 1980, the boxing world witnessed a clash of cultures. Leonard was the smiling, media-polished Olympic gold medalist who was as comfortable on a Wheaties box as he was in the ring. Duran, Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone, came from the streets of Panama and carried an aura of raw, menacing toughness. Their first fight in Montreal saw Leonard abandon his usual stick-and-move strategy and engage Duran in a toe-to-toe battle. Duran's inside fighting and psychological intimidation earned him a unanimous decision. Just 5 months later, the rematch in New Orleans became infamous. Leonard danced, taunted, and used lateral movement to frustrate Duran, who shockingly turned his back in the 8th round, uttering "no mas" to the referee. The moment became part of sports mythology, though Duran later claimed stomach cramps were to blame. The image of the great brawler quitting haunted him. They met a third time in 1989, but by then both were past their peak and Leonard coasted to a decision win. Arturo Gatti vs. Mickey Ward. Some rivalries are about championships. This one was about heart and mutual respect forged in war. Their first fight in 2002 is often cited as one of the greatest in boxing history, with Round 9 in particular achieving legendary status. Ward's left hook to the body repeatedly hurt Gatti, but Gatti rallied with flurries that seemed to defy pain. Ward won that bout by majority decision, but they were back in the ring just months later, Gatti taking the rematch by unanimous decision despite a broken hand. The third and final fight in 2003 sealed their trilogy as one of pure, unselfish violence. Both men ended their careers beloved by fans, and their friendship after the wars became as famous as the fights themselves. Erik Morales vs. Marco Antonio Barrera. Few rivalries are as steeped in national pride as Morales-Barrera. Both were Mexican champions, but they represented different regions, fan bases, and styles. Morales from Tijuana was a tall, rangy boxer-puncher with a fierce competitive streak. Barrera from Mexico City was the technician with a mean streak, known for precise combinations and surgical bodywork. Their first fight in 2000 was 12 rounds of pure fire, with Morales winning a razor-thin split decision that many felt could have gone either way. The rematch in 2002 saw Barrera adapt, boxing more intelligently and taking a unanimous decision. In their 2004 rubber match, both abandoned caution for long stretches, Barrera winning again in another close decision. This was a rivalry where even the loser of a fight emerged more respected. Manny Pacquiao vs. Juan Manuel Marquez. This 4-fight saga between the Filipino whirlwind and the Mexican counterpunching maestro might be the most technically fascinating rivalry of the modern era. Their first meeting in 2004 saw Pacquiao drop Marquez 3 times in the first round, only for Marquez to adjust and win most of the remaining rounds, resulting in a draw. The next 2 fights in 2008 and 2011 were both narrow and controversial points victories for Pacquiao, with Marquez and his supporters crying robbery. The tension heading into their 4th fight in 2012 was palpable, and that night produced one of the most shocking knockouts in history. Marquez, timing Pacquiao's aggression perfectly, flattened him with a counter right hand at the end of round 6. Pacquiao lay face down for nearly a minute, ending the rivalry in decisive, brutal fashion. Floyd Mayweather Jr. vs. Oscar de la Hoya. When they met in 2007, Mayweather was an unbeaten master technician with defensive wizardry, while De La Hoya was the sport's most bankable star, a crossover icon whose bouts transcended boxing. The fight wasn't just about the belt, it was a generational passing of the torch. The build-up was electric, with Mayweather embracing the role of villain and using HBO's 24/7 series to sharpen his brand. The fight itself was tactical, with De La Hoya's early pressure fading as Mayweather took over in the later rounds. Mayweather won by split decision, and the fight set then record pay-per-view numbers, launching him into superstardom. Tyson Fury vs. Deontay Wilder. Modern heavyweights rarely produce trilogies of this caliber. Wilder, with perhaps the hardest right hand in boxing history, had been knocking opponents senseless for years. Fury, the 6'9" British giant, brought unorthodox movement, defensive skill, and psychological warfare. In their first meeting in 2018, Fury shocked everyone by outboxing Wilder for long stretches and surviving a thunderous knockdown in round 12, famously rising like The Undertaker to earn a draw. The rematch in 2020 saw Fury press the action, bully Wilder, and stop him in the 7th round. Their third fight in 2021 was a chaotic war, both men hitting the canvas multiple times before Fury scored a knockout in the 11th. This rivalry revitalized heavyweight boxing in a way few expected. Jake LaMotta vs. Sugar Ray Robinson. Between 1942 and 1951, these two fought 6 times, with Robinson winning 5. LaMotta's sole victory in 1943 remains one of the few blemishes on Robinson's record. Robinson's fluid combinations and ring IQ were unmatched, but LaMotta's ability to absorb punishment and keep coming made every fight dangerous. Their final bout, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, was a savage beating that LaMotta endured until the 13th round. Their rivalry, later immortalized in the film Raging Bull, showcased the toughness and skill of boxing's golden age. Thomas Hearns vs. Marvin Hagler. They met only once in 1985, but their 8 minutes together in the ring have become a template for all-out war. Hearns came out blasting, hurting Hagler early, but Hagler's chin and relentless pressure turned the tide. The first round is still widely considered the greatest round in boxing history. Hagler eventually trapped Hearns in the 3rd, battering him to the canvas in a knockout that defined his career. Evander Holyfield vs. Mike Tyson. When Holyfield fought Tyson in 1996, most thought he was a faded warrior. Instead, he outboxed, outfought, and ultimately stopped Tyson in the 11th round, shocking the world. The rematch in 1997 became infamous for Tyson biting off a piece of Holyfield's ear in the 3rd round, resulting in a disqualification. The bitterness between them lasted years before they reconciled publicly. Nigel Benn vs. Chris Eubank. In 1990s Britain, this was more than sport, it was a cultural divide. Benn was the working-class hero, a raw puncher who fought with emotion. Eubank was the stylish, arrogant showman who prided himself on his chin and composure. Their first fight in 1990 ended in a dramatic 9th-round stoppage for Eubank, while their 1993 rematch ended in a split draw, leaving the rivalry unresolved in the eyes of many fans. Canelo Alvarez vs. Gennady Golovkin. A modern middleweight saga. Golovkin entered their 2017 fight with an aura of invincibility, his pressure and jab overwhelming opponents. Canelo, younger and sharper defensively than many realized, fought in bursts and countered effectively. The fight ended in a controversial draw. The 2018 rematch was even closer, with Canelo fighting more aggressively and winning a narrow decision. Their 2022 third bout lacked the same spark, but the first 2 meetings remain endlessly debated. Jose Luis Castillo vs. Diego Corrales. Their first fight in May 2005 produced arguably the greatest round in boxing history. In the 10th, Corrales, already down twice, spat out his mouthpiece to buy time, then launched a miraculous rally to stop Castillo. The rematch later that year saw Castillo win by knockout, though it was marred by his failure to make weight, which denied the fight official title status. And there we have it, the biggest rivalries in boxing history. Let me know in the comments if there's any I missed and ideas about videos I should make. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like these, but until next time, it's a goodbye for now.